What do we need to do to onboard new participatory team members?
So I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but as always, of course, it depends on your specific project. But think about what needs to happen before you can hold an effective and exciting kickoff meeting with your whole group. Likely you'll end up doing a mix of written materials for new partners to review, and then meetings with meetings with a new partner with academic and hopefully also community team leaders, and then probably a meeting with a project coordinator or a research assistant to go over the logistics. Obviously, the format, the mode, and the context depends on your specific context, but I really recommend not trying to save time by skipping this part. There's this temptation to just let's start with a meeting, and you'll find that it's going to actually cost you a lot of time if you haven't sort of, prepared by meeting with people individually before your first meeting. So in terms of written materials, again, it's going to depend on your project, but it's often helpful to just have at least some overview of the project goals. If this is a study that's already been somewhat designed, what the main study is about, what the parts of it will be. And then some basic information about your team structure. At this point, you should have some, your leaders picked out, your organizational partners picked out, so you can make that clear. If applicable, and if this is part of a larger project, you may also want information about the larger group or center organization. For example, when we do Aspire projects, we're going to be talking about the new project that they're coming on to, but also a bit about Aspire. That same might hold true for a larger organization. And then really importantly, you want to have spelled out the community partners' roles and responsibilities. What are they actually expected to do? What will that look like? How much time it will take, etc. And then, if applicable, you might already have some publication or presentation guidelines. For example, Aspire already has those, so we include that in our written materials. If you don't have those yet and you're going to be creating those, that's totally okay. And again, if available, you might include some just information on how you do your group decision-making, other policies, and so forth. And then, of course, boring stuff like how you contact people and so forth. If you go to our website, we have some example kind of onboarding materials from past projects that you're welcome to adapt however you wish. And then you're going to have some individual meetings. I personally like having a meeting with each new individual partner, and preferably both me as the principal investigator and whoever my community project lead is. That sometimes may work. Sometimes it might just be the principal investigator. But these are to really help establish rapport and build trust. You want to make sure that new partners understand the basics about the project, again, the goals, the main research questions, the basic study design. That conversation may look really different for different partners. Even when we're talking about community partners, that conversation can be really getting into nitty-gritty with some partners who are rather geeky about science and are very excited about it. And sometimes I realize that people may actually have understood very little about what I thought they already knew by reviewing materials or by applying to be a part of the project. And we really have to step back and make sure that we're on the same page. That's really, really key to happen before a team meeting, because you don't want people to show up and feel completely left out because they haven't understood the basics. And again, this is where, even though it may have been in the materials, you want to really talk about their specific roles, their activities, what they're going to be doing, what that might look like. And this isn't just presenting this information, it's really also discussing with them what will work with them, how we are already planning on doing things. Do we need to be doing things differently because they might not work out for a particular partner? And this is where you want to figure out individual accommodation needs. Some we kind of automatically do for everybody, but sometimes there's special needs that might really relate to just a particular partner that we haven't even thought of. So again, we generally will do captioning for all our meetings, but some projects might not. You might want to consider whether that's necessary. At times we've needed to have ASL interpreters for in-person meetings, we've had to figure out how to arrange for transportation. Some people do just great with emails and calendar reminders. Some people need special reminders to even be able to come to meetings, things like that. And then whether it's with the PI or whether it's with a research assistant, you need to just kind of work out stuff. Oftentimes, again, we're currently meeting over Zoom. We've had to work out with partners how to actually use it. If they're not used to it, how to get onto it, how to use special features like the hand raise feature or the chat. And it's nice to take some time to do that away from the pressure of a full meeting. And then usually my research assistant will go over payment and tax forms and contact information and things like that. And of course, this is a time to really elicit and answer questions because people might feel much more comfortable asking questions in a one-on-one or a small meeting. So bottom line, individual onboarding is really important. Make sure that you're all on the same page about the project and their involvement. It helps to individualize the discussion for each person's unique perspectives, needs, background, level of understanding, helps people feel prepared for the first meeting, helps you have a better sense of who each person is and why they're there, and it helps you understand and meet their accommodation needs. It also gets some boring logistical stuff out of the way. So up next, now that we've onboarded people, what should we actually include in a kickoff event? Again, as always, thank you to our full Aspire team and ARB.